Thank you so much for staying. We just joined us. This is TMI. We want to start with this a particular discussion segment all about opposition. Yes, the strength of opposition in this current dispensation, weighing the odds. We've been talking about it, that the opposition right now, they have so much trouble that they may not be able to form a formidable check, so to speak, to the current administration because of their internal wranglings. Anyway, with me here in the studio, he is a medical practitioner, but we talk about politics. He's very, very active. Join me to welcome Dr. Leo Asikili. It's a pleasure to have you join us this morning, Doc.
Good morning, viewers at home.
All right.
It's a pleasure being here.
And join us virtually. It's a very strong politician, an entrepreneur also, Fares. Fares, it's so good to have you join us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Edo people. Good morning. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you. Joining us right now is Sosa Moagbe. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, you came a tad bit late. I wonder what really transpired. Doc has been here for like... It's Sosa. Anyway, welcome.
Thank
Happy New
you
Year.
for having me, and Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you, viewers at home, for allowing us once again into your homes.
All right, Josh and I will be conducting this interview, but I want Doc to have the first bite on this particular topic about the strength of opposition in this administration, weighing, the odds. As it stands right now, it's like the opposition are being consumed, will last say, interfered with, so to speak, allegedly by the ruling party, because I'd like to get straight to the kernel of the matter. Now, that's the allegation making the rounds, that somehow that the ruling party want to make Nigeria a one-party system. You could see the telltale signs in various states of the Federation. Doc, what do you have to say about this?
Good morning, viewers. There's, from experience, awful time when people fail. They try to attribute their failure to somebody else. Even in school, when a student fails, he will tell you, oh, my lecturer gave me this. But when they make A, they will say, I made A. So what is playing out in the camp of the opposition is that because of their colossal failure, during their time they had, let me be specific, 16 years in governance, they messed up the entire country. And now they are reaping what they sowed then. And even after the elections, or during the elections, they committed more havoc. For example, they were talking about zoning presidency again to a particular section of the country that has ruled for 8 years previously, and they wanted again to continue in that the same line. And the people, of course, even those who were from that region, also rejected them. And now they are finding it difficult to put their house together because of greed. Because, if you are in a home where everybody wants to be in charge, of course, what you are seeing now in the opposition is what you are going to see. So as far as I'm concerned, if you have a good masquerade dancing in the village square, everybody wants to watch that masquerade. So, and the other one that is not receiving any accolade, we of course look for excuses why probably it's not receiving accolade. And that's what is happening in the opposition.
All right. Well, I want Fares to respond to this because it's a member of the opposition. Josh, I believe that you have a question or two for Fares that will join us via Zoom.
All right, so my question to Doc would be, when you say people who, using that analogy you painted, as someone who is dancing in the masquerade, or the masquerade dancing in the village square, and the other masquerade who doesn't seem to get so much attention, are you saying that some of the germane issues that the opposition parties are bringing up now are not really resonating with the people? Are you looking at it from the angle of just merely getting attention or craving for attention is what they are seeking for right about now?
Let me tell you, if I, many times I don't like looking back at those 16 bad years, because sometimes if you think about them, it's so nauseating. Now, if the opposition, for example, the issues they are bringing up, which I don't know, the issues they may have to be specific so that we can tackle them one after the other. If you marry a woman for 16 years, and that woman every day keeps promising, oh, I will do this, I will do this. Or you marry a man for 60 years, he will tell you, oh, madam, tomorrow I will buy you one good wrapper. The year we end, you promises another one, and he's doing all. How do you cope with that kind of fellow?
All right. Now, when you say, let me be very specific, I'm going to put a point on the table now for us to discuss on.
Go ahead.
Education, for the most part, has been viewed as a social welfare program.
Yes.
Now, you're looking at the past 16 years of PDP, as it were, having the reins of power. And you said in your statement that it was not anything to write home about. Now, what do you think of a situation where the ruling party now subtly takes away that opportunity that everyone should have, which is the freedom, which is the free education, as it were, and now telling you that you've got to embrace a loan to be able to get education? So what do you call that?
I'm not aware that PDP ever floated a free education in this country. No, it never happened. Let's just come to Edo State, where PDP just left government house. Look at what they did to AAU. Subvention for the entire month for 41 million. And you take 40 million as tax, you give them 1 million. What is that to you? Edo State University, for example, has been messed up by the past administration. And now the current governor has increased the subvention to 500 million a month. How do you compare that? Look at 1 million to 500 million. And the school was virtually, in fact, the school had collapsed. If you look at the medical section, they have several sets behind because they couldn't meet up with the accreditation standard. I had 2 of my daughters who graduated from there. They couldn't meet up. In fact, the last set graduated August last year. As I speak to you, induction is said to be done because of accreditation issues. So how do you tell me that they floated a free education? How many people graduated from their schools?
All right. You just heard that. Farais, I really need you to react to this. I know you're watching, you're listening. It's your turn now to have a bite of this particular discussion, because from what Dr. Leo opined, he said, look, 16 previous years of maladministration by the PDP. Take it up from there, Farais.
Well, it's rather unfortunate that, the comments from the respected Dr. Leo, it's kind of laughable. I was just laughing while he was making some of those remarks. It's very laughable because Nigerians are not stupid people. Nigerians, where they are coming from. Nigerians know the history of where PDP took governance from in 1999 to where they left governance in 2015. And Dr. Leo knows. He knows he is part of those who are feeling the brunt of the APC maladministration since they took power in 2015. You see that when PDP left government in 2015, if you had $1 million in your account as at then, you had close to $5,000. If you had $1 million in your account in 2015, that means your $1 million was worth $5,000 then. Today, a $1 million is worth about $300 or $400, $500 right now. That's to tell you how much the value of the naira have dropped between when the APC came in. When they came in, Nigerians were doing well. Nigerians could eat, they could feed themselves. Petrol was 70-something naira a liter. A bag of rice was 7,500 by the time PDP was leaving government. And when this people came, Nigerians became the poverty capital of the world. The APC have brought nothing to Nigeria but shame, backwardness, poverty, and disgrace. Today, we have over 20 million Nigerian children out of school in the north alone. Under the APC administration, they've done nothing to improve education. They've done nothing to improve healthcare. They've done nothing to improve the quality of roads. They've done nothing to improve infrastructure. Go and look now. In 2015, you could travel from Benin to Warri in 1 hour. You could travel from Benin to Uromi in 1 hour, 20 minutes. Today, you cannot even travel. All the federal roads have collapsed. They come in, they say they are doing concrete technology. They've not been able to do 1 kilometer of road anywhere in the country since Tinubu came into governance. They said they were going to remove subsidy and use the subsidy to reinvest into infrastructure. Tell me them to point to one hospital that has been built, one school that has been built since Tinubu came in. Not even when Tinubu came in, since 2015, they cannot point to any achievement. All they have done is just use propaganda to deceive Nigerians. Today, Nigerians have become poorer. The average Nigerian today is trying to leave this country. The amount of Nigerians desperately trying to leave the country right now is way more than those who were even trying to leave when we had the military. That tells you how backward that the APC administration have dragged Nigeria. And for someone to come in here and pretend like he doesn't know all these things and just say, oh, PDP maladministration, tell him to tell you right there now, how did PDP mismanage the country? The people who are in PDP are those who fought for democracy, who took democracy from
I will come back to you. We'll come back to you. Just calm down.
I can respond.
No, hold on now. It's like, a ball thing, turn by turn. Well, Esosa, you heard him. He said, look, it's not all about PDP. He said example of where APC took the country from to where it is right now. And true to the fact that really about 20 million children have dropped out of school in the northern region. We've not talked about the South. That is truly in record. It's also true that the dollar-naira exchange rate since the APC are the hems of affairs. You know the story so well. Take it up from there, Sosa.
Thank you very much once again for having me. Opposition has to do with dissent.
Yes.
That is expressed whether in words or in action. If you bring it into the political terrain, maybe dissent from policies, offering alternative to what is on ground, whether in terms of personnel or in terms of policies. That's how I'm going to look at it from. That's the area I want to take it from. Now, opposition in Nigeria today, I think they are very much in disarray, because they don't have the personnel to drive the opposition. There is an adage in Benin that roughly says, that if you say that the gods of your land are not powerful or valuable, when you have something that is lost, you will have no God to run to or to cry to at the end of the day. I think that's what has happened to the main opposition party in Nigeria, particularly the PDP. I remember vividly that former President Olusegun Obasanjo was saddled with the responsibility of restoring Nigeria to glory after the wasted years of the military era. He did his best. But it is these same PDP people, led by his own vice president, Atiku Abubakar, that painted Obasanjo as possibly the worst despot or demon that ever lived. Of course, they were aided by foreigners. While in Britain, you can have up to a prime minister can have up to unlimited terms. First term, second term, third term, fourth term, as the case may be. I think a prime minister had done 12 years. I think maybe another one has done 16 years. Margaret Thatcher did close to 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have my facts right. I also know that Tony Blair did close to 10 years.
Let's bring it back to Nigeria, please.
Bring it back to Nigeria. I think they said that Obasanjo wanted a third term, and then at the end of the day, Obasanjo became the biggest demon that ever lived, And then they vilified the old man, and the old man left. After that, it came to the time of President Goodluck Jonathan. President Goodluck Jonathan, with all fairness to him, I think he will go down in history as one of the best presidents that ever ruled this country. But this same PDP painted him as a demon as well, you know, as if he was the worst ruler that ever walked the face of the earth. You know, at the end of the day, I remember 7 of the PDP governors, not 1, not 2, not 3, 7, you know, of the PDP governor led the breakaway team as at that time. I remember Kwankwaso of Kanu was one of them. I remember Babangida Aliyu of Niger State.
So where are you driving out? Where are you driving out?
Yeah.
Yes.
What I'm driving at is this. Like I said, I started with the opposition are very much in disarray right now. And they don't have the figure or the personality to drive them into reckoning once again. Right. They don't even, I'm coming, they don't even have the policies. Farrell was talking about the X sector and some other things that he alleged that the APC had failed. But let me remind Fares that I'm an accident victim. If you see the way I walk, you'll notice it. In 2003, I had an accident along the Benin-Auchi road that left me with a spinal cord injury. I remember that it was the PDP that was ruling us at that time, and that Benin-Auchi to Abuja road was a death trap. A lot of people died. Many people were not as lucky as I am to survive that road. As at that time, under the PDP rule as well, the Benin-Lagos road will take you about 8 hours.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm coming, I'm not done.
Hold on now. You've made your point. Mind, we have other discussions to throw more light on this. But all you've said is this, that I don't have the personnel to drive the PDP. Before, just hold on, because I need Fares to react to this. Mind you, viewers, we invited Kelly Ogbaloy to join us via Zoom. Due to some interconnectivity problem, he wasn't able to join us. Maybe if he's able to make contact with us, definitely he too is going to contribute his own quarter to this particular discussion. We'll come back to Dr. Fares. I need you to answer this question. He said the PDP as a party don't have personnel to drive the party, hence they are in disarray.
That's quite laughable also, you see, because most of the people who he claims are APC members, including himself, were one time PDP members. You know, they were members of the PDP. You know, look at the APC today, is comprised of 90% people who were members of PDP. Go to the House of Reps and the Senate, most of their members today, they are governors, they are all members of PDP. They all started their political journeys from PDP. So for you to say that the PDP does not have the people, that's not even correct. And I don't want to even go into that, but that's a pure fallacy. And then he talked about the infrastructure within the time of the PDP and the time of the APC. You know, the time of the PDP, there was nothing like Fulani herdsmen kidnapping people everywhere. Today, as we speak, he cannot travel. Tell him, I dare him to put his car on the road from Benin to Auchi from 7 p.m. in the night. He cannot dare it. You know, that's not even in Edo State. It's practically everywhere in the country. People are living in fear. People are living in fear. People are poorer today. These are facts. They are not just message. These are facts. You can go to Google and Google. Nigeria and Nigerians have become poorer under the APC administration. These are facts. If you have 10,000 naira, what it will give you, what 500 naira or 700 naira would have given you 10 years ago when PDP was in government. If you have 10,000 naira now in your pocket, what it can give you is what 800 naira would have given you under PDP administration. If you have $1 million naira now in your pocket, what it will give you is what 10,000 naira or 20,000 naira would have given you 10 years ago when PDP was in government. I can give you a clear example. In 2014, I was working on a project and we bought 100 bag of cement, as at that time for 120,000 naira. 120,000 naira for 100. I still have the receipt. I can prove it. I can bring the receipt out and show you 100 bag of cement for 120,000 naira. Today, that 120,000 naira will barely even give you 10 bags of cement. 10 bags of cement. So that's to tell you how much things have become difficult for Nigerians. And, you know, instead of the APC to come out and start to apologize to Nigerians, you know, all they keep doing is making rubbing salt to the injury. Everywhere you go in the AP, what the APC said, they have been foisting people who don't have the competence to manage the country, who don't have the experience to manage Nigeria. look at the caliber of people Jonathan gathered. I'm happy he said that Jonathan government was one of the best government. This was the same government that they all vilified. They all did everything, including using the life of innocent girls to campaign against. And then he's saying that he's saying PDP. Look at the caliber of people, the likes of Okonjo Iweala, the like of the man who's at the Adeshinas and all that. That Jonathan gathered together, best brains to manage the economy. Nigeria was doing well. Today, look at the caliber of people they brought in. They brought in many former governors who have failed in their state to become ministers. Start from Buhari, governors who couldn't even manage their own state were made ministers. And then that was the history of Nigeria going back. Now, come to Edo, look at where we are. What did the APC present in Edo? They presented with a governor who cannot even pronounce his own budget. A governor who does not even know the difference between a zoo and a museum in Edo State. And then tomorrow they'll start saying, oh, it's the PDP sport and all of this.
I'll come back to you. We'll come back to you, Ferenc. Now, I believe the next question is for Dr. Leo.
Yeah,
yes.
So, Doctor, you heard what he just said, because he just gave us a whole list of items that we need to discuss about. When you talk about the days of the PDP, which you said it was as bad as, you know, we have it today, would you compare the life or the quality or the quality of living standard of life during the PDP days and what we have it today? You heard what he said, that he could buy 100 bags of cement at about 150,000 naira, as the case may be. But that cannot be the same right now. So would you say that the life of the average man, as we have it today, in terms of the quality life standard that he should live, is far better than what we had it then?
Let me tell you, I listened to him very well. One thing is that I'm very sure it's not within this climb, so it's not in touch with the people, and he doesn't know the reality. So he's speaking from hearsay.
But he said he just
wait, let me land.
Go ahead and make a point.
For example, he said not 1 kilometer road has been done. Go to Saple Road. That one he said. That one is very close to us, Saple Road. Then he talked about the issue of out-of-school children. The factors responsible for out-of-school children in the north is PDP-generated, Boko Haram, insecurity. And he also talked about Jonathan Assembly, Okonjo Iweala and others. I remember that Okonjo Iweala advised them then. There was a particular fund they were advised not to, not to share. And in their usual way, PDP shared the money. They shared it. And where are we? When you talk about the value of the dollar, what was it before PDP came in? If you can tell me, they will not see how correct the analogy is. Because when I was in charge of NHIS in UBTH, we had a meeting somewhere in Abuja where I drew the attention to the value of the dollar when PDP took over to what it was as at that time. And when you look at it, you discover that in terms of ratio, they are not comparable. Nigeria is in a global world, in a global economy. I listen to world news every day. Inflation everywhere throughout the world, in the entire world. So you cannot isolate Nigeria and tell me that the people are poorer. No, the people are not poorer. Using myself as an example.
What was the bag of rice during the PDP regime and what we have?
What was it before PDP? If you can tell me,
if you now say,
the value of bag of rice before PDP came in?
So if you now
let me tell you, just wait now.
All right.
We talk about practical things. When I don't believe in things that are isolated, you cannot even prove. Before I came to Benin, many years back, Edo used to grow rice. Even my village, they used to grow rice. That they were, people were coming to the village, they buy them in sacks. If you have done sack race before, if you've seen it was that bag they were using. But suddenly, there was one particular year that MPN then, they said they were going to make rice farm and what have you. So people left farm. They came and planted rice in the dry season. And we thought, they said they were going to use irrigation. Of course, all those things dried up. From that time till now, during the era of PDP, all we knew was PDP shared more. What was the price of oil during PDP era? They had plenty of money to play with, and yet they squandered those funds. Tell me what, in their time, look at it, all our refineries collapsed.
You are talking about the price of petrol. They made sure that the refineries, none of them worked. Kaduna, what do you call the other place? Port Harcourt, Warri, the three collapsed in PDP era. And you are telling me about the price of fuel. When you are not importing fuel, then you not buy fuel, depending on the cost of fuel from another foreign land. Imagine you produce cassava here, or gari cassava here. You carry it from here to Onitsha for them to refine it and bring it back for you to sell. What are you expecting? So they messed up the economy. After they messed up the economy, what do you expect the government to do? Nigerians must survive. He talked about hospitals. Do you build hospitals in one day? When did what is it called? The current president, I am aware that orthopedic hospital has been approved for Edo State. There's a management team right now, they are employing. And there are other hospitals that have been approved all over the country. You don't build them overnight.
All right. Now, let me come to you. So, sir, some of the people that the APC have this penchant of trying to woo, thereby hook or crook, or the government that belong to other political parties to come into the PDP, that are planning seriously to make Nigeria a one-party system. You heard of the rumor about a boy where he said, I want to join the APC. Obviously, said, no, it's not going to happen. But you saw Ibori's daughter. We saw that stalwart also that is in Delta State changing to the APC in Edo State. The story is not different. You get to see some president political parties moving towards the APC. River State's issue, we all know it too well. And right now, there's this big squabble in the PDP, and the APC was fingered, alleged to be behind this. Now, what do you have to say about this allegation?
Well, I don't think it's a confirmed story that it is the APC that is causing problem in the opposition ranks. Let it be said that in the last election, general election, presidential elections, in that election, I think the major opposition figure became Peter Obi and the Labour Party, in my opinion, simply because of his personality. I keep emphasizing that. My brother Fares was making reference to what APC may have done or may not have done. Many of the key players in APC came from PDP. I've said it and I will repeat that political parties in Nigeria, there are basically no ideological difference between them. For many people, it is just a vehicle to climb to power. And as of today, the APC is on board. And the APC, I believe, in my opinion, is doing very, very well. It has become a viable political party. That is why people are moving to join the ruling party.
You mean these people are not being coerced or threatened one way or the other, or not giving some juicy appointment or last say promises that if they come to the APC, rather, their seats to be retained?
Well, it is the same thing we're talking about, that the APC has become a viable political party. I don't know how you are going to define viability. It has become a very beautiful bride that a lot of people want to court as at the moment. I think that is why they are moving towards that, the APC as a political party.
All right.
Look at Edo State, for example, because Fares referenced Edo State. The incumbent governor, Okpebholo, may not have all the phonetics, may not be able to speak all the big grammar. But we know that politics is not about big grammar. I mean, the man is delivering the dividends of democracy. Governor Obaseki left the worst state of insecurity in Edo State. People were dying. Young people were dying. Cultism, gun clash every now and then. But since Governor Okpebholo came into power, there have been a seizure of that of gun clash. He has even passed a law, prohibiting cultism, bringing out stiffer penalties. That is why they are voting for APC. That is why the man is becoming more popular than he was even before the election.
Thank you.
And that is why the PDP will continue to be unpopular. Because they misgovern the state.
Thank you so much. Not to worry. I promise you, James, we'll have all that time to really dive into this issue. There'll be a part 2. All right, there'll be a part 2. Just maybe, just maybe. I'm going to give you guys an invite again this Sunday to really expatiate on this point. Now, that is a promise. On Sunday, we have more to really expatiate on this. Thank you so much.